What?
Hello?
Nope, that's a problem.
Test.
You're good.
Yeah.
It's
We get a pop whenever you turn it on
Yeah.
and off. Rut-row. Microphone surgery.
It's full of jelly beans.
Ah! Mine eyes!
Check.
Possibilities.
Hey!
Oh, sweet.
So what I'm going to do is put it together without the hammer, the slide hammer that came loose.
Slide hammer.
And well, that's
Yeah, it
and,
looks like
and
Is that just the socket for the plug thing?
it's just a weight to make
Oh.
it feel cool.
Yeah, I had...
And to break wires after. And
Check.
Only
Did you put on your headphones and
put on your ear goggles. Strap
strap on your ear goggles? Yep.
All right, say
You
something,
rock the
Alex.
mic.
We are
Can you hear me?
live. Yes!
Yes, volumes.
Victory!
I'm Max P. Dingrods, and I approve this message.
Welcome to Electronics Repair with the Junk Connoisseurs.
We are live.
It's handy to be handy.
We're going to have to explain. We have a soldering iron on the podcasting table, the studio table tonight.
Yeah, Alex had to resurrect his microphone because and I quote, slide hammer inside came loose and broke a wire.
Literally, it's just like a lead weight that is just there to give it heft.
Yep,
And,
there's a weight inside the microphone, which probably is useful for people that are carrying them around on stages and that kind of stuff. But turns out I do remember this microphone having taken a tumble when we were breaking down or setting up last time, and thinking, boy, I'm glad these things are robust enough to like let high school talent show kids use them and that kind of stuff. But
They're not.
this high school talent show was a little too rough on it.
Yeah.
Let's maybe not drop the $50 microphones, Jeff.
No.
It's from Community.
Oh.
These are cheaper than that. Yes.
It was $50 for all three.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks for joining the Junk Connoisseurs, where we, good thing that we're barn casting tonight, where the soldering iron is nearby.
Yeah.
So we could.
If we'd been at Jordan's, Jordan doesn't have any tools in his shop.
Yeah.
I definitely don't have a very similar soldering station.
And the microphones aren't made of wood, so if we were at Alan's house, there'd just be no recourse. We just
We just
That'd
have to
be-
hit it with a piece of wood.
I mean, it works a lot of the time.
It's like,
You'd be surprised.
It's how I raise my kids. Kid. Only have one.
but the other one's gone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
Well, that was the practice kid. Foster child. Sorry, they hate it when you call them a practice kid.
Wow.
Oh,
That turned dark fast.
that was Malcolm Prime. This is Malcolm 1.
What is Bart's brother's name?
Bort.
Is it literally
It's
Bart?
not Bort. It's Hugo.
Hugo, yes,
Hugo,
yes.
yeah. The evil child is always the left-hand one.
Also, the fact that there's an evil version of Bart who is inherently chaotic.
Well, yeah,
and
but you
evil.
watch it, he turns out to be the evil one.
Yes,
Hugo's the
yes,
good one, right? I do enjoy the fact that it's to the point now where I can do the throwaway line where Malcolm will say, my kid is 6 and he's very, very mouthy. And he'll say something like that he doesn't like something that I've done. And I'm like, yeah, your older brother didn't like that either. And then he'll be like, what? And I'll just, nothing. So, yeah.
Don't give me no sass, boy.
You're worth $30 a month in state money.
Well, we are in the barn tonight, and I Tom Sawyered these two fools into first helping me swap out a hood on a project car, and then we got ready to do our little recording session here, and one of the microphones had no signal coming from it, so we broke out the soldering iron and the screwdrivers, and I blinded these guys with the flashlight while trying to shine it down inside there, but we got it going for now, so I think we're good. And yeah, thanks for listening. Be sure to reach out to us. Give us an email at junkconisr@gmail.com, and find us on Facebook and apparently Instagram.
Tell your friends.
Not really on Instagram.
Not really.
We exist. I don't do anything
but
with
we
it.
don't do much with it.
Yeah.
But we do have folks send us messages from time to time, and we appreciate it. And a couple such messages that have come in since the last episode. We had Logan right here in Missouri sent us a picture of his early RX-7 with a Stay Fresh cheese bags decal in the rear hatch window.
Pretty sweet.
Yeah.
That was cool to see. It tickled all three of us.
No, it was
Yeah,
great.
it
I
was
loved
pretty
it.
And then we got another email from Mr. Steven, I think out east of us somewhere. He sent a comment about the Lincoln LS episode and his personal experience with the Lincoln LS, and sent a little video and a little story about his fun with Lincoln LSs. I think we'll have to share his YouTube video on the social media so other people can see what can be done with the Lincoln LS.
Yeah. Was that King of the Heap?
King of the Heap, apparently at the Corvette Museum's
And like
road
Bowling
course.
Green or somewhere? Yeah.
And
No, King of the Heat. I don't know much about it, but it looks like kind of like Lemons used to be, where it's you just go and race around a track in whatever hot garbage you've managed to pull together.
he mentioned the only rule was a spec tire, a Uniroyal Tiger Paw.
Oh yeah,
So they're limiting cornering speeds
Yeah.
via traction.
For
Yeah.
those who don't know, not a tire known for its road racing prowess, I
No.
believe. It's.
but I do believe it is also probably available in many sizes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess starting price is something with a 4. If you got a 15-inch, like $42.
I don't know if they even still make them. I honestly don't.
I'm sure that there's some other offshore import tire that has replaced it if the Tiger Paw is no longer available.
But him and his posse of like-minded, and I mean like-minded to him, and I'm pretty confident
Probably.
saying like-minded to us as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-proclaimed morons.
Speak for yourself.
He said it. I'm speaking for Steven.
Oh. No, that guy's a moron. You're right.
No, I don't think he's a moron. He said he was a moron. Okay, so they spent about $500 total prepping, heavy use of air quotes, their Lincoln LS for this track event.
Tires,
We'll call it.
$160. Oil change, $30. Beer, $310.
Well, I suspect the $500 possibly included the purchase of the vehicle.
I think so.
Yes.
And some welding wire and a few things.
Yeah,
And
hacksaw blades.
Bondo.
It's
Definitely
a
no
hoot. Check out the Facebook page. I'm sure by the time this goes live, we'll probably be posting
Yeah.
a link, and he authorized us to do that. I'm sure he would be tickled by the attention as well. So, thank you, Cheese Bags, for sounding off out there and letting us know what's going on. Keep sending us messages. Tell us what's going on with you.
So, before we get into the main event, we've made this joke many times when we talk about the 3 things Alex looks for in a car.
Yeah.
Manual transmission, rear-wheel drive, and V8. That's the ideal vehicle for Alex, is going to have those 3 things in it.
Yeah. Those are my favorites.
Yes. But when
We say there's 2 out of 3.
Yeah, so we say 2 out of 3 or whatever. It's usually manual transmission, rear-wheel drive. It's V8, rear-wheel drive, that sort of thing. The manual transmission V8 front-wheel drive has been a bit of a joke that's come up several times.
Because
Yeah.
nobody does it except Jordan.
I did find
Found
one, and it is wild. So,
Excellent.
never available in the United States, which I'm sure is shocking. It was a limited production vehicle from...
Is it an Eastern European commercial vehicle?
No, I did not include that. These
Okay.
are passenger vehicles
Passenger
only.
vehicles. Okay.
It
Is
is-
it from Europe?
It is European, and it is a sedan. So it's not some weird, like, people mover situation. Because I'm sure that those exist. Like a Russian 6x2
Right.
that's front wheel drive and
Right.
two-stroke
That was my
V8.
thought. Is
Yeah.
some sort of Czechoslovakian like medium haul truck.
Yeah.
With a giant 2-stroke V8 that runs through the front wheels for some reason.
Yeah, with a
and
V-driver.
and a 5-speed on the column.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You know, a 5 on the tree. Why not?
Yeah, just like the Toyota Crown Taxi. Anyway, none of that. So, it is from Lancia, right? Lancia, something like that.
Oh, I know what it is.
Yes, I figured that as soon as I mentioned it, you would remember this. But so Lancia is where the hell are they from?
Italy.
Italy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of surprising that this wasn't a French vehicle, to be perfectly honest.
Well, I don't think. Who else used that? Who else used that platform? The Swedes.
So this is, are we?
It's the Athema, isn't it?
Yeah, the
Thema
Thema.
832.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that is mechanically a Saab 9000.
Yes, it's a Saab 9000, a Fiat Chroma, and an Alpha 164.
That was it. So it was the Italians and the Swedes
Yes.
sharing it. No French in this.
So it's a executive level car, so like a BMW 5 Series, and it was pitted against the M5 in the 80s.
Okay.
It is a front wheel drive V8 manual. Do you have any idea where an Italian manufacturer would go for a transverse V8 with a manual transmission attached to it?
What time frame is this?
Mid 80s.
85.
Mid-80s.
Yeah, 84, 85, somewhere around there.
Was it a
Shit is
GM?
mind blowing. No.
Ferrari 308.
Okay.
So this had the same engine that came in a Ferrari 308.
Okay.
And I assume the same transaxle.
Okay.
But it was a Ferrari 308 in the front of this Italian, like, near luxury vehicle.
Remind me what the Ferrari 308 was. Was it a
Magnum
a
PI.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So it was a longitudinally oriented engine. No, okay, transversely oriented engine. Got it.
Yeah. But they put it in the front of effectively what was a Saab 9000. Gave it some good-looking clothes. Lancia always made good-looking stuff. And then tried to sell it against the M5 and actually found a couple thousand people who bought it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a 2.9 liter
Okay.
V8.
I was gonna guess something really tiny.
Yeah, 250 PS. So,
Okay.
or 215 PS. So like 210 horsepower, PS and horsepower, nearly the
Pretty
same.
close. Yeah.
6,750 RPMs though. So it was a revvy.
Yeah.
Mid 80s, 6.80 to 60. So pretty fast
That's-
for
yeah.
a 5-person people mover.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Let's see. I don't know, that's about it. That is the end of the interest in this particular vehicle.
As I remember, the knock on it was that it was really cool, but you could go just as fast for a third the price in a Saab 9000 Turbo.
Oh, yeah.
Or just as fast for half the price with all the Italian swagger in an Alpha 164,
Yeah.
which was the same car.
Yeah.
You know,
well, except
just
for
without a Ferrari V8.
Yeah, it had probably the whatever fancy Alpha V6.
They had it had
Busso?
the Busso, yeah, and up to like 220 horsepower.
Yeah.
which is about what the V8 put out.
Well, and it was also probably a high 2-liter displacement. So
Yeah, it was 3 liters.
displacement was the same.
Yeah.
And RPM range was probably the same. And
Alex
Alpha,
says
maybe.
V6s never sound good.
The Busso is everybody can pretty much agree on that one.
Yeah.
It's as good as a V6 can sound. I'll put it that way.
I don't think I want to go on record saying V6s never.
I
sound.
think I have heard you say that, but I'll allow you to retract it.
Okay. If I said V6s never sound good, I was certainly seeing the red mist or something. 'Cause
Yeah.
there are definitely some reasonable sounding V6s out there, but they're not my favorite sounding usually.
This question should be pretty easy to answer. Who do you think provided the fuel injection for this particular power plant?
1985 in Italy.
Well,
Bosch?
Bosch. KJetronic.
I would have thought it'd be Magneti Marelli, but
No,
But
this
yeah,
one.
okay.
This one.
Bosch, KJet.
Yep.
So they just
And-
had two of the fuel distributors from the GTI next to each other. Like,
Probably.
what? It works fine.
We'll figure out the third leg soon, but if there was a tangential triangle, triad, trifecta of things that come up in the podcast a lot. KJetronic fuel injection by Bosch, 3-year only production. I'm sure there's something else that
Yeah.
we can
Think
come
about
up
it.
with. But there's
We
a lot.
got
There's
too many-
a lot of recurring.
Too many
themes.
trifecta.
No, yeah, we could start
Oh.
adding points to our stars.
So this was the same time period that the Lotus Carlton was out too,
Yeah.
which that thing was bonkers.
It was a little before the Carlton. Carlton was the early 90s,
Was
I
it?
think, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right. For the one 90 to 92.
Yeah.
The Lotus Carlton was rear wheel drive, straight six turbo, like 350 horsepower or something
Wow.
absurd.
Given the time period and the name, I thought
It would have been a Buick in America because it was some sort of Opel.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
It was an Opel Omega,
yeah.
which later became the Cadillac Catera. And they're like the bookends of how awesome something can be and how terrible it
Yeah,
can be.
yeah, so
It's like
382
Lotus Carlton to Catera.
Yeah, 382 horsepower for the Lotus Carlton in 1990. Like,
I remember-
Holy crap!
I remember I was Googling this and looking it up not like a year ago, and I found an editorial from The Guardian, which is a very liberal British like national newspaper, from like 1990 when they're like, enough is enough. Nobody needs a 350 horsepower sedan, and I was like, or saloon, and I was like, oh Nigel, if you only knew what the next 30 years held.
I mean, not so much for a lot of England, but you know,
But here in Freedom Country,
yeah.
where we don't measure our horsepowers in PS.
Well, okay, so here's another thing that I didn't realize until I was just looking. Lancia Thema had a second generation that was just a Chrysler 300C.
Yep.
They just plopped an Italian badge on the front of that.
Because that was right after
Center to
right
Europe.
after Stellantis bought them, and they're like,
Yep.
"Hey, we need a big sedan for Lancia." Well, we got this. Okay.
So you guys are
Yeah.
saying there's something else that I might inevitably own someday, like the Chrysler 300 and what platform of
It was the LX.
LX platform?
I mean,
There is yet another one to find. Although I think
Those-
honestly, it's a grill is the only difference.
yes,
Right.
yeah. They did not send those here because we already had
Right.
a couple of versions.
Yeah.
I highly doubt though that they got an SRT8 or Hellcat version.
Nope.
in
They didn't
Europe.
even get a V8.
Oh,
They got the-
sad
they're like-
days.
I mean, it's still a 300 horsepower car. It's not like
Yeah, but
it's slow.
4,200 pounds.
It's 14.8, 14.9. with
No,
the
I'm
V6.
not-
I mean, it's not slow, but still, it could be faster. And Lancia, yeah, I get it.
It's just one of those things. Like, if you're operating in the European sport performance arena, there's other cars that are Hellcat-esque available, M5, whatever, and you could come in and I bet a lot of it's going to be like emissions related and that sort of stuff. but-
Emissions related. Remember, everything in Europe runs their road tax on displacement, and that's
Yeah.
why like BMW makes these awesome twin turbo 4-liter V8s
Yeah.
instead of a giant 7-liter or
Well,
6.8
yeah,
Hellcat.
Same. Mercedes did the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my diversion for pre actual conversation.
Well
was-
played.
yes.
Well played.
Fun.
We found one,
Fun.
and I even
I
knew
like it.
about it. I just didn't think I don't know. I guess I didn't think it was front wheel drive for some reason. I knew it was front wheel drive because it's the type. It's the whatever the Type 4 or whatever they call that platform. I can't remember. Yeah.
I did not see.
Yeah.
But yes, the Saab 9000 cousin that had a Ferrari V8 in it,
Yeah.
which was probably worse than the Saab 9000 Turbo in basically every way. Because
Yeah.
when I think reliable, I think 80s Ferrari.
It's true.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's like every 80s Ferrari, if you have to like drop everything out the bottom to get to the clutch, or I mean, I'd imagine so because there's not that much space under that hood.
Yeah. It might be easier to work on in that platform.
Probably easier to get to than a 308 or 328. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
The Junk Connoisseurs are proud to make their very first political endorsement tonight.
we're proud to offer our full support to the candidacy of Mr. Max P. Dingrods for Hazard County Sheriff. Friends, are you too bemoaning the slow decline of the manual transmission? Can they have that clutch pedal when they pry it from beneath your cold, dead foot? Max P. Dingrods has a solution. Not only will his election mean a chicken in every pot and a stick shift in every beater, it'll mean an extra manual transmission in the yard for every single Hazard County household. For too long, our law enforcement is concentrated on harmless bootlegging, while big automatic transmission got rich off kickbacks and slush funds. If you've had enough, like we have, vote Dingrods for sheriff this November.
4 more gears! 4 more gears!
Paid for by the Flatheads and Flathead Super PAC. Not a serious endorsement. Professional driver on a closed course. Consult your doctor if your candidacy lasts longer than 4 hours.
I'm a cheese bag, and I approve this message.
Well, anyway, guys, so I'm up tonight. Got a good one. Traditional, let's start us off with the traditional stuff.
I was going to say, is this good, bad, good, weird?
It is not weird. It is good. It's not good, it's just good.
Okay,
in
so
stock form, but
not another Pantera. Oh, it's something people modify.
we're going to like it.
Okay.
On the Alex Trifecta, this one goes 2 for 3.
Okay.
Almost universally. Hypothetically, you could get it 1 for 3, but it's 2 for 3, effectively.
So,
Sounds almost like a Suzuki Samurai situation where there was like 7 with an automatic. And the rest-
Basically, yeah, that's close.
Oh, so they're almost all manuals.
Uh-huh.
How carbureted or fuel injected?
Carbureted exclusively.
Well, that makes sense because very few vehicles with fuel injection have that level of manual transmission take rate.
This vehicle scores 0 for 3 on the Junk Connoisseurs Trifecta of
Not
sadness.
a Chrysler.
Not a Chrysler product. Chrysler didn't do it first. Colin Chapman not involved. I forgot what the third one is.
Iron
It's been
Duke.
a long day. Yeah, no Iron Duke.
Was Colin Chapman in the automotive industry when this came out?
I don't think so.
Ah, so it's rather old.
really old.
None of us have owned one. It was produced in 35 different plants, 17 in the U.S., 18 abroad. 4-year production run, one better than our norm.
Oh, okay, only 4. Okay.
35 plants in 4 years?
Okay, I was.
This is some weird pre-war thing. Or
In that-
not a weird thing, but like
In
Model
that
T.
4-year production, I'm sorry, there was a 4-year production run and then a 3-year non-consecutive production run much later. In the original 4-year production run, they made almost 5 million of them, and in the 3-year postscript coda, they made 5,000 of them.
Was it produced by the same company in the post times?
No, but it was available at the same dealership.
Was the break related to World War II?
No, but World War II did happen in that break.
Okay.
It was not related to World War II.
How long was the break? 30 years?
Oh,
50 years?
46 years.
46 years.
Was this a U.S. based manufacturer?
It is a domestic vehicle.
Okay.
How long did the Model A run?
Not.
More than 4 years, I would assume.
The vast majority of these had a manual transmission.
Uh-huh.
Early models even had a multiple disc clutch. And the original production run, there was a single engine option displacing 200 cubic inches, 3.3 liters.
How many cylinders?
4.
Big ass 4-cylinder.
Yeah. So was this a Ford?
It was a Ford.
Okay. I think you're on the right track with one of the. Is it a Model T Ford?
It is not the Model T
Okay,
Ford.
I don't know how many
The
years.
32?
It is not the 32 Ford.
I don't know enough about this. I said Model A earlier, and you kind of locked up.
You didn't ask me if it
I
was a
know,
Model A.
I know. I was looking for help from across the table, and Alex just was like, is it the Ford Model A?
It is the Ford Model A.
Hey, I'm real confused about the 46
Oh,
years
yeah.
later bit.
So, we'll get to it. But there
Sure.
was, in 1978, a guy named Harry Shea went to Ford and was like, hey, I'd like to build a reproduction Model A using Pinto running gear, and I think you guys should sell it at your dealerships. And Ford went, okay, yeah, we'll do that. So from 1978 to 1980, you could walk into a Ford dealership, order a Model A with a Pinto 4-cylinder and either a 4-speed or a C4,
And there's the automatic.
and there's the automatic. Yeah, they made 5,000 of them in that little run.
That's so weird.
I know, right?
What blackmail did that guy have on
I
some
don't
Ford
know,
exec?
but
So back to the original model.
the original
Yeah,
Model A.
let's get back to the
4-year
actual.
run of 1928 to 1931. This was the replacement for the Model T.
Uh-huh.
It was so on technical details, we'll go into that first. It was powered by a cast iron flathead 4-cylinder derived from the earlier Model T engine, displacing 3.3 liters with a 3.88-inch bore and a 4.125-inch stroke. Compression ratio. Anybody want to guess? Anybody want to guess what compression
I
ratio
bet
was
it
on a
was
car back then?
more than 4.
Barely.
gonna say-
4.2 to 1.
I was going to say 4 1/4.
Mm-hmm.
I was wrong. I was thinking 6. But
So it was a
okay.
derivative of the earlier Model T engine, but bigger and revier because it redlined at a whopping 2,800 RPM.
Yeah.
Ooh, zingy.
Honestly,
So-
that's a lot more than I was expecting.
So this was a cast iron, big old 4-cylinder, 3 main bearings, no counterweights on the crank. We'll talk about how they got away with that in a second when we get to the flywheel.
Okay.
Splash lubrication, no oil pump,
Okay.
no valve seats, no cam bearings. It did have a water pump, which was an upgrade from the Model T, but the cooling system was unpressurized. Fueled by a Zenith downdraft 1-barrel carb that we would consider laughably simple now, but that was absolutely state-of-the-art in 1928 because you didn't have to constantly adjust the mixture while you drove,
Yeah.
like you did with the Model T. And it would have it had a manual choke, but it would automatically adjust for changes in altitude or barometric pressure, which was kind of groundbreaking at the time. It did not have a fuel pump. The fuel tank in a Model A is in the dash.
Yeah.
And there's a single line running down to the carburetor, and gravity's your friend. It had what we would consider probably the first standard electrical system. It was a 6-volt, but it had a generator running off the crank pulley, kind of like we have now. Well, yeah, we have an alternator. It had lights. It did have a positive ground, which has fried more than a few people's like voltage regulators and stuff when they don't realize it's not like a modern negative ground car. Mm-hmm. All that yields. Anybody want to take a guess what this 3-liter 4-cylinder puts out at the crank?
4 and 4.2 compression ratio.
I want to say somewhere in the 20 to 30 horsepower range.
You're a little pessimistic,
Okay.
but not much.
I'm going to say 45.
41 horsepower
Okay.
at the crank
Okay.
at redline of 2,800 RPM.
Screaming.
Functionally the redline. It could go faster, but it doesn't like it.
My frame of reference is a Ford 8N tractor,
Right,
You know,
which is
28
probably
horsepower.
similar.
Right. Yeah.
128 pound-feet of torque at 1,000 RPM.
That's not bad.
A dyno test of on a wheel dyno of a good running stock Model A will show about 30 horsepower at the rear wheels. So that unweighted crankshaft, how you think they control that?
I would assume by like applying wheel weights to the flywheel.
Well, no. I mean, if by wheel weights you mean the weight of several wheels. The flywheel weighs 63 pounds.
Well, I meant like using that as
Right.
an adjustment
You can balance
point.
it.
Yeah, you
I
balance.
don't know if that's how you do it, but yeah, 63-pound flywheel connected to a 3-speed unsynchronized sliding rail transmission. And that was the big thing that made we'll get to it in a second, but the big thing that made the Model A even more of a people's car than the Model T is it drives like a modern car. And we'll talk about how the Model T does not drive anything like anything any of us have ever driven in a second. And this kind of standardized the controls because it had 3 pedals: clutch, brake, gas. like a modern manual transmission. It had a floor-shifted manual transmission that was unsynchronized, but any one of us would get in it and be like, oh, that's how it works. It's an H pattern. It had brakes on the wheels instead of just in the transmission like the Model T. They were mechanical drums. Ford didn't actually go to hydraulic brakes for another decade, in 1939, before they went to juice brakes. But they were a world better than the Model T. Other technical details on this thing. Live rear axle with a single transverse leaf spring and radius rods.
Just like a Corvette.
Well, no radius rods.
No,
I mean, I guess you could call those trailing arms. I don't know. If you wanted to piss off the vet guys, and I always want to piss off the vet guys.
Also, a front transverse leaf spring, correct?
Yes, also a front transverse leaf spring with radius rods.
I know you're talking about
Yep.
the rear, but
no,
yeah.
we're getting this is the next thing on my list.
Yep.
Steel ladder frame with a stamped steel body with external fenders. Almost all of them had a steel body, except they did build some woody wagons. They built a total of, I'd have to look, 18 different body styles. If you look at the different lists, they have 2 or 3 different roadsters, a cabriolet, which is different from a roadster. They have 5-window coupe. They had a business coupe. They had 2-door and 4-door sedans, a Victoria, which is a 4-door it's a 2-door sedan with a bustle back. They had C-cab trucks, regular trucks. I mean, they cranked them out. Curb weight was between 2,200 and 2,500 pounds.
So with 112 or whatever pound-feet of torque, that actually probably was reasonably quick to 30.
Usable.
Yes.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Like, this is another thing is, like, you could drive this around town every day.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get on the highway. But
What you just described to me was not dissimilar performance to what you would have gotten with a non-turbo diesel Volkswagen in the 80s.
probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my next. What'll she do? Flat out at 2,800 RPM. Anybody want to guess top speed?
In third gear, I would assume.
In third.
Yeah, because clearly not overdriven.
Nope.
Do you know what the axle ratio is?
378 to 1.
Ooh.
60?
65.
Yeah. I was going to guess 55.
And
so.
that's all it's got. But it will do it.
Well, assuming that third gear is 1-to-1 and you're running 378s, like 2,800 RPM. Yeah.
Big, tall wheels, though. 19-inch wider wheels.
Yeah, that's true. I'm sure they were 35 inches across or something.
0 to 60, 30 seconds.
Whoa.
But it would do it. Quarter mile, 27.9 seconds at 52 miles an hour. It's the slowest thing we've talked about. Overall fuel economy, low 20s.
Man,
on
that's slow.
On late 20s, early 30s crap gasoline. I can only guess what the octane was that far back, and that's probably why it had 4-to-1 compression.
Right.
You know? There weren't any, so it ran for 4 years, 1928 to 1931. Astute observers of history will note that, other things were going on then on a geopolitical scale. There were no real big mechanical changes during that run. There were some cosmetic changes. 28 and 29 had a shorter, wider radiator grille, and in 30 they went to a more upright, narrower grille that was more like the dimensions of what would become the 32 Ford after the Model A made its run. They had a multiple disc clutch in the first year, and then in 29 they went to a single disc clutch, and other than that, just kind of running small improvements. There weren't any big changes to it.
Well, that and the 18 different body styles you could order one in.
Right. So why is it important? I mean, it's overshadowed by the Model T as the people's car, because the Model T was the first affordable car. But the Model T was harder than hell to drive. The Model T had a spark advance and a mixture control in addition to a hand throttle. It didn't have a gas pedal. It had a stalk that you used as an accelerator. It did have a steering wheel. And aside from that, it was basically utterly unlike driving a modern car. You would have to mess with the choke, the spark advance, and the mixture all the time to keep it running. It did have 3 pedals, left to right. Those pedals were... the left pedal was the gear selector. You would floor it for low gear. First gear which is the only other gear. It's a 2-speed transmission. So low is to the bottom, first is all the way up, and neutral is halfway down. Yeah, let me repeat that. Low gear, crawl all the way to the floor. High gear, all the way out.
Put it in H. Got it.
Put it in neutral, halfway down. Makes sense to me? No.
What's
The middle pedal,
but
Have you
before
ridden
we
a
move
motorcycle?
on, is this spring loaded? Does it have like a toe hook that you shove your toe in to pull it up? Like, how do you take the pedal?
it's spring loaded. It
oh,
pushes
you
back
have to
against you.
stand on
You have
it.
to stand on it to keep it in low. Because it wants to come back out to high.
Yeah, okay. And you have to also stand on it, but not as much
For
to put
neutral.
to put it in neutral.
The middle pedal is reverse.
So then, do you have to put it in neutral and
Yep.
then?
Yep. Anybody want to guess what the right pedal does?
Yes, I want to guess.
Go.
Give me a second. I think I know what it actually is. Is it for the propane burner for altitude control? Okay.
It is not.
Is it for timing?
It is not.
Oh,
No, you did timing on a stock.
Timing is the left stalk.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's not a turn signal.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
it's not ignition timing. You mentioned the choke had to be.
Choke is manual. It's a lever on the steering wheel. The right
just like an F1 car.
pedal
This is like.
is the brake.
Okay.
I say brake because there is a single brake in the transmission, not on the wheels, and it acts on the drive shaft. So it doesn't work
If you're a neutral.
if you're in neutral or if the car is not running.
So you have to put it in neutral, apply reverse, hand throttle up while your feet are both pressed all the way down and
And then you
partially
need to
pressed.
stop.
And then you need to remove acceleration by pulling the stock down for either the ignition timing, the fuel, or both, and then hop off of reverse while keeping your left foot in neutral. No, not while keeping your left foot in neutral, and then apply brakes once the transmission returns to high gear and attempts to force you to drive forward.
You need both hands and 3 feet to drive this car.
Yeah.
And it was still miles better than anything else that you could afford
Well,
at the time
that's
that
an
the
important
average person
detail
could afford.
that you could afford.
So,
And-
am I right that the Model T is like the impetus behind them coming up with the talk to text speech so that
Yeah, this is but the Model T was actually the progenitor of Super Cruise.
Yeah.
Like, that's at the other end of the development. So that's why the Model A was important, because you could get in a Model. Any one of us could get in a Model A. Any non-gearhead who understands how a choke works, because it
And-
did have a manual choke,
And a manual
and who can drive a
transmission.
manual transmission, which that is a substantial component of American population. Most of them are older than us, but if you've ever driven a car with a manual choke, you can get in it and you immediately feel at home. It has 3 pedals. The left is the clutch. The middle. Yeah, sorry, I had to think about it. The left is the clutch. The middle is the
Yep.
brake. The right is the gas.
Yep.
It has a steering wheel. There is a manual choke. You need it to start the car or if it is cold. That is it.
much like your riding lawnmower these
Right,
days.
right. Gear selection is via an H pattern. It is an unsynchronized manual transmission, but it is a sliding rail manual transmission, much like any of us would recognize from any manual transmission.
I heard about how to operate one of those
Mm-hmm.
in a historic documentary. You have to be double clutching, not granny shifting.
Yes,
Oh, okay.
accurate.
I think I've heard that.
Danger to manifold.
Yes.
Um,
All 4.2 compression.
Um,
I'm sure the backfires were epic.
It had brakes on all 4 wheels.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
It had effective weather protection in that a lot of the Model Ts were open with no side curtains. They sold a lot of roadsters and a lot of touring cars that had a top that went over but no side windows. You could drive a Model A any time of year. I don't think they had a heater, but I think they would warm up effectively from engine heat. More so than,
You know what else didn't have heaters not long before this?
houses.
Buggies.
Yeah, well, that too.
Carriages.
Carriages that were
Yeah.
behind horses.
If you can
yes.
get out
horses,
of this,
yeah.
if you can get out of the snow and the wind, you're 90% there.
I was just. We're in a time frame when horses. Well, I don't. Granted, I'm not even this old, but a decade before this, I think it was pretty commonplace still to use a horse for transportation.
Yeah, it was, absolutely. And in rural areas, it was still common when the Model A was a thing in the 20s and 30s.
Well,
So I want to make it clear, this was not the first car to have to drive like this. This was
No.
not the first car to have a modern control layout.
was that a
I don't know what
Buick?
it was. It was the first cheap car.
Yes.
It was the first car within the reach of the average man.
First mass produced.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Large scale. How many did you say they made in that 5 years?
4,850,000 in 5 years.
That is mind
It's
boggling.
possible that Dodge may have been the first to use a modern control layout.
Did I miss a chance to say Dodge did it
I
first?
think it's possible you did, because I want to say it was a domestic manufacturer.
It
and
may
I,
have been.
I think
I
it
don't
might
know.
have been
It-
Dodge.
All right, good job, Horace, and whatever your brother's name was.
Also Horace.
Yeah, the Horus and Horus Prime. Well, there was Horus, and then there was Horus, named after the Egyptian sun god.
Oh.
Yeah, the Dodge parents were really strange. The Dodge brothers, normal guys, great engineers, but man, yeah. So yeah, October 1927 to March of 1932, they made almost 5 million of these.
Wow.
The other thing that this really started was commonplace cars as something other than an appliance. You could get these in colors other than black. Henry relented. That was Edsel, his son, who was like, "Nah, Dad, we should let people paint it what color they want to paint it." And Henry's like, "I guess." And you could get all sorts of different colors. And starting with the replacement for the Model A, which was the 32 Ford, styling started changing every year. You know, the Model T was effectively the same from 1909 to 1927.
Right.
The Model A had a couple of 2-year runs, and they changed the styling just for the sake of changing the styling. There was no practical reason to make it look different in 30 when they changed the grille, but they did. The other thing that was really noteworthy about these is how cheap they were. A standard Model T Roadster or Model A Roadster in 1928 cost $385. Anybody want to guess what that is in today's money?
I have no idea.
Bazillion.
$7,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which I understand it's a moderately small amount of stamped steel panels. What is arguably the simplest way to make an engine, and that's it. There's like almost nothing else there. So it's incredible that they could do that. Modern manufacturing could do that, and honestly, China does, and whatever. But that's great. You could go to anywhere around the country, spend very little money, and have yourself reliable transportation.
And it was a good thing because in 1929, people had very little money. As a rule,
Yeah.
the Depression hit, and Ford still managed to sell 5 million of these in the midst of the deepest economic turmoil in recorded history,
Right.
you know, since we've had an economy. It did go up to the most expensive town sedan cost $1,400, which now would be $25,700.
Wow.
Yeah.
That has to be possibly the largest swing of any vehicle is a 3.5 times cost increase.
And no mechanical difference. I mean, that was
Yeah.
the other thing. It was still the same thing mechanically. It was all cosmetics.
Unless you were going to go out and buy something like a Duesenberg, which was an order of magnitude more expensive.
God only knows. Yeah.
Performance was not that much better from any of the other manufacturers.
It's true.
Like you could get a Cadillac, which was not as expensive as a Duesenberg, and it would have a lot more power,
Right.
but it still would not. It would be like the performance difference you would get in a modern vehicle between an economy car and a sports car.
Right.
Like it wouldn't be mind blowing.
Yeah.
I say that it is pretty mind blowing when you go from.
It still didn't have Apple CarPlay or air
No,
conditioning.
it did not. No, that's true.
No heated seats.
Yeah. No, I'm just now in my mind I'm picturing a Nissan Versa pulling up next to any number of things, be they electric or gasoline powered, and okay, yeah. Statement retracted.
So in 1932, they replaced it with the Ford Model B, which was a 4-cylinder 32 Ford, and the Ford V8, which was a V8 32 Ford. and the rest is history.
Yeah,
but
because that performance was more than double the 4-cylinder, right?
I think the early flathead was like 65 horsepower, but still, that's going from 40 to 65. That's a lot. I think maybe it got up to 85 pretty quickly in terms of power, but yeah. And then we were kind of off to the races in terms of performance for the common man, so to speak. So the postscript here, and the reason I was able to mislead you guys for so long here, is in 1978, a guy named Harry Shea, who was an automotive engineer in Detroit, went to Ford, was like, hey, I'd like to build a modernized Model A with Pinto running gear, make it look like a Model A, but make it, modern in terms of how it runs and drives. So they offered 3 body styles. They had a Roadster, they had a C-cab delivery truck or a regular pickup truck. Response was so enthusiastic they couldn't keep up with the demand. And the irony here is that they weren't built on an assembly line. They were built by 4-man teams who would put the whole thing together. Wow. And it's like, Harry, okay, man, whatever. They built about 5,000 of them between 1978 and 1980, and then the company went into bankruptcy. This was kind of the height of the neoclassical era with stuff like the Zimmer Quicksilver and the Cadillac Seville with the bustle back. This was when nostalgia for the sake of nostalgia was kind of big, but this was probably the best thing to come out of that, because basically it looked like a stock Model A, but it had a fiberglass body with a 90 horse 2.3 Pinto and either a C4 automatic or a 4-speed manual. Front suspension was Pinto or Mustang. It was Mustang 2 effectively, which whether they realized it or not, they were kind of casting the die for the next 40 years of hot rodders.
Yep.
And then back to a 7.5-inch Ford straight out of a Pinto. The only thing that it had different from a Pinto in terms of running gear was it had 18-inch tall wire wheels with bias plies. So it was great up to about 6 or 7 tenths, and then it got real spooky real quick.
That's still probably a lot better than what an original would be like.
Right, but it can do 90 instead of 65,
right.
Which is the problem.
Yeah.
These are neat. They built about 5,000 of them over that 3-year run. Most of them were Roadsters. There's one that lives in my neighborhood, which is actually how they got the idea to do this.
Wow.
Interesting.
Having grown up around street rod stuff, I was not even aware of this.
So they kind of have a weird reverse snob appeal because the restorer guys are like, it's not a real Model A.
Well, yeah.
And the hot rodder guys are like, it's a Pinto.
Yeah.
So, but that said, they offer you most of the vibe and a lot more usability.
Well, and if you're building a fiberglass hot rod, you might as well just start from scratch or buy
this.
Speedway
This might have
kit or
been
something.
before. I think this was before
was-
you could get fiberglass reproduction.
I meant on
now-
the used market.
Yeah.
Like 10 years later, you find one, whatever.
Right.
The hot rodding scene's starting to come on in the late 80s, early 90s, that sort of thing.
The build the hot rod from a catalog, not go dig something out of a farmer's field and build it up kind of thing.
Yeah,
I
because
get
it would probably be similar money or less to just order new parts.
Yeah.
Because it's really uncomplicated. So, anyway.
So they're out there, and they actually bring about what a stock Model A does, from what I can tell. I couldn't find a Hagerty value, but for a regular Model A, it brings about the same money.
I'm not surprised that Hagerty does not track this.
Well, I mean, they made 5,000 of them. They're not rare.
Yeah.
But
it realistically, it's a kit vehicle with pedigree because
Sort of.
it's fiberglass. It's got modern.
it did have a standard Ford warranty.
I'm not saying that it is, but from a collector standpoint, you're going to have to be very specific if you are interested in this thing because it does have Pinto suspension. It's got fiberglass bodywork. Like the things that a lot of people get a little angry about or touchy about. It doesn't have a straight axle and blah blah blah. Anyway.
Well, that's the thing. It brings about the same money as what a regular Model A, as an original Model A brings. And original Model A's still are a very, very approachable pre-war classic. They're probably the most approachable pre-war
Well, they made
classic.
5 million of them.
A lot of them were restored early on or preserved. When they make 5 million of something, even if you lose 99% of that, that's still, 50,000 of them sitting around?
Right.
And there's not that many people who want them. And it wasn't neglect or rust that killed the majority of these. It was hot rodding. We'll get to that one in a second.
This is like the first version of the drift tax, where
Yeah.
it just killed dozens upon dozens of
They
them.
built a lot more of these than they built 240 SXs. A Concours level Model A, like restored to the highest possible condition and ready to roll in any show and take best of show anywhere you want to go, $27,000 today. A number 4 driver in fair condition, the stuff we're looking at, $9,000.
Yeah.
Shades are about the same price. Hot rod versions vary wildly
Yeah.
depending on the provenance, the level of execution, it's like how much do you want to spend?
Yeah.
Because you can spend that much on one.
Well, I when the rat rod scene came on 10, 15 years ago,
Yeah.
whatever it was, the Model A was definitely near the top, if not the top hot ticket, where you would chop
As much
12
as you
inches out of the roof
Yeah.
line and have a slit of glass that you look through. And if you're more than 6 feet tall, your head comes out of the roof.
Yeah.
And you're basically laying on the ground. Anyway, yeah, but I've seen some of that type of build go for many hundreds of thousands of
Right.
dollars. So, yeah.
To morons. But but you're
Well,
right. I know
yeah.
what you mean. It
you
depends on the
wanna-
level of craftsmanship and
Yeah.
how well executed their terrible ideas are effectively. The rat rod scene became a caricature of itself, and it got to the point where I was out pretty quick. I like I like the idea of rat rods, and then the execution is like, no, you did all the things you should have left alone, and you amplified. Yeah, I don't know. Let's get to motorsport. Nobody ever really raced these. To my knowledge, nobody has ever put a different engine in one.
No, I'm sure.
Zero.
There was no hop up. There was no hop up parts. There were no. I can't even keep it up. There are hop up parts for this engine available today. Like you can write a check to Westlake or Miller, and they'll sell you all of their 1930s vintage speed parts that they're still making,
For a flathead 4-cylinder.
and you could make 105 horsepower out of one of these.
That's a lot.
It's a lot. It requires a new head with overhead valves and a cam and all the parts.
See,
And
okay, that's a problem to me.
Mm-hmm.
If your end goal is 100 horsepower, that's great.
Uh-huh.
If a new head from whoever.
I didn't tell you it was the smart way to do it, Jordan.
No.
You can
but,
do it.
But I'm just thinking, out of the box, a similar displacement, small Ford family straight six, like is sitting in that Futura right there, is good for 100 horsepower, and it already
Yeah, but Jordan, the chicks at the car show in the polka dot skirts know that's not an authentic Miller Westlake overhead valve
conversion
on a
Yeah,
T4.
It's a nostalgia.
And
thing,
yeah, it
a
is. It totally
correct
is.
thing,
It
yeah.
and it's shockingly expensive to build a Model A Ford engine.
Yeah.
but it can be done.
Well, and I know that you could get improved cylinder heads for the flathead version.
Right.
I didn't know that it was a air quotes common thing for people to manufacture overhead valve versions.
Oh well, like the flathead Ford.
Uh-huh.
Like the first widely available overhead valve conversion for the flathead Ford was the Ardoon, which was short for the guy who designed its hyphenated last name, Arkus Duntov,
You say that like I should know what I'm looking at.
father of the Corvette.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Zora Arkus Duntov got
Yeah,
his
yeah.
start, taking a flathead Ford and making it overhead valves.
Yeah.
So yeah, they all manner of engines have been put into these. A flathead Ford goes
Literally
in real easy.
Anything that you could ever
Yeah.
possibly want.
Name it. Name any domestic V8 and it's been put into one of these. Name most foreign V8s. I mean,
Diesel engines, everything.
the 2JZ. I mean, you name it, it's been put in. And yeah.
No, for some
people
reason
raced
I
them
thought it was
everywhere.
slightly newer, but
They were on dirt tracks for years.
Yeah.
Stock car racing as we know it, not really a thing then.
Well, it's
but
'cause-
dirt tracks, yeah.
when these came out, they were still running the liquor.
Right. Pretty much every part is reproduced. I think you can build one more or less from the ground up out of a catalog now, either as a stocker or a hot rod. You can get fiberglass bodies of every stripe. I think you can get steel bodies for most of them. They are, what do you want to do? It's been done.
Right.
It's been done, and there's a path to do it. Just get out your checkbook. Let's
Shake
see
it at
here.
the internet.
Last time I did that, I got a ban. They told me not to get on the internet no mo. Hot Wheels. Yes, there were Hot Wheels. All right, so that's what I've got on it.
Yeah.
So we come to the standard ending of the conversation. Would you own one, Alex? You're gonna own one pretty soon.
I could own one if I wanted to.
Oh, I
because
thought that was a 32.
my father has a Model A
Oh.
in the basement. I don't think that's realistically a project that I have the passion or wherewithal, maybe more than anything, to move on with. They're neat. I like them. I really like the suspension design and the fact, like you say, that you can do all this. When I say period correct, I'm talking like nostalgic hot rodder period correct stuff with them. If you see a stock one, it doesn't look right because
Right.
you've seen
It's
so
too
many
high.
street
Like, why is that
rods. Yeah.
axle straight? What the hell is wrong with this?
Right.
Why is the frame not Z'd? What's going on here?
But they were they were a beautiful car. Okay, they were, most of them turned in my life turned into beautiful kind of artwork cars, street rods, I would say, with hot rodded with V8s and that kind of thing. And so I like it. I've kind of resigned myself to more modern stuff than this. So I'm not likely to. I'm more likely than probably any of the three of us here to own one, just from an opportunity standpoint. But I don't think I'm probably going to.
We found his limit, Jordan. We found what's too old. It's pre-war, but yeah.
I am really a fan of synchro mesh transmissions. I will
Yeah.
tell you, it is hard to pass that threshold.
You would not own one of these that was stock.
That is correct.
Yeah.
You are right.
Yours would have some sort of V8, be it a Chevrolet or otherwise, and if you got your way, it would have.
Trust me,
row your own.
I've
gears.
already thought about it since I have the opportunity.
Sure.
And the car in question was slated to have a 2.3 4-cylinder and a 5-speed from a Ranger in it, and that
know
would
what
be
they-
fun. And what's that?
They make turbo versions of those
They
that make
sure do.
300 horsepower
They sure
quite
do.
easily.
I don't think he's had one, Jordan.
A turbo.
Well, not a 300 horsepower one.
No.
Yeah. I definitely have had a turbo
No.
2.3 or 3, and that would be a fun one. But the other would be, a flathead V8 in one of these would be so cool.
Yeah.
They look neat, they sound neat. They don't make a lot of power, and I think at this point in time, it's hard to assemble and keep an old flathead running. I mean, they run great when you get them running, but it's hard to find them now.
well,
It's hard to find them. The parts are out there.
I'm sorry, it's not hard to find them. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm told that they're almost all cracked, but they don't make enough power that people just put them together that way anyway.
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, and I also heard somebody
Race
talk
it.
about these old 4-cylinders with their 4-point-something to 1 compression. They didn't need fancy machine work or tight tolerances. They didn't spin fast enough or make enough power. They would run poorly forever,
Yeah.
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 These also predated insert bearings. So this was like when you were needing to when you needed a new bearing, it was find a fixture, put the cap around it, pour Babbitt material in, molten bearing material in, and let it cool, and then that's your bearing.
That's your bearing.
Which
a soft metal, I guess.
Yeah.
I've heard
Yeah.
Babbitt bearings a lot in my life, and I know that it refers
Yeah.
to the poured in place liquid molten
Yeah.
metal bearings, but I don't know the history behind the name, but that is
Yeah.
pretty impressive that, that's how they did it.
Yeah, Jordan,
No, thank you.
no Model A for you.
No.
Straight
No,
up,
no way. No way, no how.
No, the Babbitt bearing conversation we just finished ruined any chance of anything
His eyes
close
just
to a
glazed
stock.
over.
No, that situation for a stock vehicle is a hard no.
Yeah.
I could see myself definitely owning one that was more of the dirty hot rod or not so ridiculous rat rod variety.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Yeah, just the. I have found these very appealing in that category of just. I yanked it out of a field because I needed a body to put on my ridiculous whatever. But I still don't think that's likely to happen,
Yeah.
to be realistic. I mean, I do think this would be pretty great for all my Jag, but I don't have access to one.
Right.
That is one of the things that's floated around in the back of my head was a pre-war race car with a Jaguar straight six in it.
Yeah, I mean, they are still out there if you look around, but they're probably they can be found.
Yes.
And they are not absurd money compared. I mean, everything's absurd money anymore, but they're not absurd money compared to other pre-war stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I would honestly, the Shays kind of appeal to me just because I like the idea of something that's at least usable.
Yeah, that's disc
Every day.
brakes and
Yeah.
modern parts.
Yeah.
air
Yeah.
quotes.
You can go down to O'Reilly's and get all the parts you need.
Yeah.
And the time, okay, so I think part of what I like about it, and probably you as well, Alan, is they came out and they were probably really polarizing. Probably people really disliked them, a lot of people, I'm guessing, which almost makes it more
Yeah,
endearing.
that
now.
makes me more like
Yeah.
The contrarian in me is like,
Counterculture.
nah, they're great. You're wrong. I'm gonna drive it.
Did you ever find a price on the Shays version?
They're about the same as
No. Sorry, original MSRP at the Ford dealership.
Oh, I'd have to look. I came across it and I haven't seen it for a while. It was not obscene. I want to say it was similar, like not like as cheap as a new Pinto, but not a ton more.
Yeah, I was if it would be less than double what a Pinto would
Yeah.
be for the visual and
Right.
$2,000
The
car.
vibe.
yeah,
the
yeah. If
Pinto
you could
was,
get
yeah.
if you could get into one for under $5,
Yeah.
because this is only purchased as a nobody's buying this to go to work tomorrow.
No.
It blows my mind that I never heard of or saw the Shay because of the age I was at in the circles that
Yeah,
I
this would
later
have been
ran
people
in.
you would have like.
Well, I think it probably was
Yeah.
really not accepted in
Yeah,
the, in the world.
you were amongst the crowd who had their nose turned up at these. Yeah.
Very
Black sheep.
likely, but
Yeah.
I'm just really surprised that one didn't come up, and maybe they were at shows I was in. I just never saw them. I'm just
Yeah.
really surprised.
Well, that's the thing. It just looks like a Model A with a Pinto engine. And in the 80s, there were a lot of Model A's with Pinto engines because that 2.3 was a fairly common swap. I mean, most people would do a V8, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it was like, this fits. It's modern drivability, you know?
If nobody stopped you as you were walking around, you would look at it and go, "Oh, that's a fiberglass reproduction kit."
Yeah.
And it's built on Pinto gear because that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been noteworthy if you didn't stop to talk to somebody about
Yeah,
it.
I saw a lot of fiberglass street rods with
Right.
mostly V8, some
Yeah.
every now and then a 4-cylinder in them, but yeah, and independent suspension, which would have been mostly Mustang 2 Pinto
Yeah.
suspension.
That
and,
that
yeah.
became and still is, I think, the standard. I mean, you can go to Heights or wherever and be like, "Here's $1,500. I need a front clip for this," and they'll sell you one that will like, okay, how wide are your frame rails? You know, what? Yeah,
I don't think it's $1,500 anymore.
the last time I looked, that was kind of the entry level. If you didn't want anything chromed or polished,
And fun fact, some of those parts are built right here in the middle of Missouri.
anywho, this is just for Alex. There are multiple fun car songs about the Model A,
There are, huh?
including Harold's Super Service, which is an absolute banger by Merle Haggard.
Okay.
The old 97's version is even better. Also, that was the car Commander Cody was driving in Hot Rod Lincoln. It wasn't a Lincoln.
That
it was a
Model
Model
A
A
motor made it-
with a
or
Lincoln motor.
That Model A body made it look like a pup.
Yeah.
That's the lyric.
So, was it? What engine was supposed to be in there?
A Lincoln.
But what Lincoln motor?
Probably.
I think it was the Lincoln V12, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was maybe.
Because don't they refer to it as a 12-cylinder, like in the song?
It's got 8 cylinders, uses them all. Got
No, it was an 8-cylinder,
overdrive,
okay.
just won't stall. But probably a Lincoln flathead V8, I
Yeah.
assume, given the.
Maybe those were
Blah, blah,
slightly
blah.
larger displacement than a Ford.
Well,
version?
that's back when there was an actual distinction
Yeah.
between
Yeah.
Ford, Lincoln,
I
and
think
Mercury.
Lincoln may have had an overhead valve V8 way before Ford did.
So it
I
might
think
have
that
an
may have
overhead valve,
been
maybe.
like,
No, I'm pretty certain they had one when
late
they
40s.
Yeah, when
It
they
was-
retired.
I think we need to do a documentary on the song Hot Rod Lincoln.
Let's go find Commander Cody and his Lost Planet Airmen.
We can delay this episode and we'll do that for 50.
Episode 50. We stalk Commander Cody and the surviving Lost Planet Airmen. There's only 2 of them. Well, there's one of them now. We gave him a heart attack.
That was just a cover, keep in mind. His version.
Yeah.
It's no
Good
Jaguar
deal.
versus Thunderbird.
No, that's a good one. There are so many good songs. Has somebody heard? I've had the Anaheim, Azusa, and Cucamonga Sewing Circle Book Review and Timing Association stuck in my head all day, or part of the day. Go Jan and Dean. All right, guys. Well, thanks everybody for listening. Remember to share us with your friends and tell us what's going on. As you see, we get a kick out of hearing from what folks are doing. And other than that, all I've got to say is stay fresh, cheese bags. I was just telling them how I said astrological when I meant astronomical when speaking about the Pontiac solstice, and I was like, I am not going to let myself sound that stupid because I know the difference and I didn't mean to say that. And they're like,
It's all right, man.
the anal
It's okay.
retentive.
Everybody sounds like that occasionally, especially when Pontiac is in retrograde.